Alright. Shalom Akim. First and foremost, to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai, the ones, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and blessings to the sincere Akim out there pushing his truth in all sincerity and faith and honesty. Okay? And the title of this video, well, what this video is pretty much about is the Philippines. Their president over there is lashing out on the U.S. about pretty much because the president of the Philippines they're focused on cracking down on the drugs in their country. And what the U.S. is saying is that ever since the president started cracking down on the drugs in the country, the U.S. is concerned over extrajudicial deaths in the Philippines. Okay, so pretty much what the government over there is doing is killing off all the drug dealers, and the U.S. is concerned about it. Okay, so the point is, the president of the Philippines is like pretty much is pissed off about that. You know, he's pretty much trying to do something good for his country and get rid of the drugs or whatnot, and you know, you got the U.S. all in this business about it. Okay, so I'm getting what he pretty much said was that you complaining about what's going on in our country, but you guys are killing unarmed so-called black men every day. You know what I mean? Or, you know, he's saying, look what you're doing to the so-called black people in your country, killing unarmed black men. Okay? So this is what I'm really do. I'm gonna just get into an article. You know, the president is, you know, he's pissed off about it. You know, he's having he's been interviewed, you know, pretty much by the UN and all these other nations, and he's so-called what you would call cursing. You know, he's cursing his ass off, so to say. Okay, but this says, this article from abcnews.com. It says United States officials said today that they are deeply concerned over the recent government crackdown on illegal drugs in the Philippines, that it has led to an alarming number of extrajudicial killings. Law enforcement officials in the Philippines put estimate at nearly 1,800 suspects. Okay, so they saying they killed nearly 1,800 suspects. You know, that's what the U.S. is saying. It says the United States believe the rule of law, due to process and respect of universal human rights, that these principles promote long-term security. U.S. Department of State Deputy Spokesperson said, "We strongly urge the Philippines to ensure its law enforcement efforts to comply with its human rights obligations," Toner added. Okay, so they going over to another country telling them that, you know, hopefully you guys abide with the human rights when you guys are killing all these suspects. Your law enforcement is killing all these suspects. But then, you know, the president from the Philippines said, hey, you know, your law enforcement kills unarmed so-called black men on a daily basis, you know. So he's pointing them out on that shit, you know, and he's pissed off about that. He's trying to, you know, and he should be, you know. He's a Moabite, but he should be pissed off about the U.S. coming in on him for something that's stupid, you know. And you know, he's trying to get rid of the drugs out of his country. You know, if he had to kill a million people that's selling drugs, so be it, man. That's a righteous deed, you know. So it's the U.S. is the only one that's out of order. The rest of the nations are in order, man. You know, somewhat in order. I wouldn't say they're completely in order, you know, but nations are, you know, trying to strive for order, so to say, you know. The first scripture I'm gonna get is Jeremiah 51 verse 7. Okay. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken, that the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay. And the point in that, man, the nations are mad, man, because the nations are getting tired of the U.S. coming over, you know, in their country, or putting their nose over in their country when they're trying to do righteous deeds. But yet in all, though, your house is not in order. That's pretty much what they're saying. You know, the scriptures speak about that. Having your house in order first before you go put your nose in somebody else's business, okay? It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let everyone go in his own country. For her judgment reaches unto the heavens and is lifted up even to the skies. Okay? So these nations are pissed off, man. You know, the U.S. think they can go around and dictate what goes on in these other countries and, you know, impress these other nations, but, you know, their shit not together, so to say. It's Micah 2 verse 2. When we started 1, it says, Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. Okay? So America still think it's in the power of their hand that they can go to these other nations and dictate what they do. You know, you got some nerve, man. You know, to talk about. Hopefully, you guys are being in act with the human rights. You know, okay. But yet and all, though, we got fluoride in our water. You know, you're spraying chemtrails in the atmosphere. You know, for us to breathe in. Okay. Not only that, we run across, we say this all the time, but food that's being served over here in the U.S. is illegal in a lot of these other countries, man. Okay, well, you got the nerve to talk about some human rights. Okay, when this man is trying to get rid of all the drugs in his country, but yet and all, you promote drugs. You know, what I mean, you put drugs in Jake's community so they can. You know, become drug dealers, so they can become drug addicts. But this man is trying to get that out of his country, and you got the nerve to say something about it. Okay, like I said, if it feels 3 million drug dealers in his country, he has the right to put every last one of them to death. Okay, it says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. Okay. It says, so they oppress a man in his house. Okay, so they're oppressing a man in his house, but really, you know, we can use this for these other nations as well. But, you know, who really gives a shit about these nations? But this, you know, this for edification. So they're oppressing the man in their house. Okay, the U.S. is going to oppress the man in his house when your shit is not together in your own country. Okay, most of all, your vets, man. You go on the streets of America, those people strung out on drugs. Most of them are vets, man. Okay, that served in your mighty men, man. Your man of war that served in your foreign affairs, man. For your own self gains, man. Okay, the scriptures say, that's one thing that grieved the Most High's heart, man. A man of war that suffered poverty. Okay, so the U.S. is completely full of shit, man. Okay, and the Most High is getting ready to consume it through these nations, man, with their missiles and nukes of fire. Okay? So for you to oppress this man because he's trying to get rid of drugs, man, that pisses that man off, man. That's why the scriptures say the nations are mad, man, because you're full of shit. Okay? It says, even a man in his heritage. Okay? The next scripture I'm going to get is Habakkuk 2, verse 5, okay? It says, Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, okay? And what's that wine that he's transgressing now? Trying to justify themselves to speak against the Vietnamese. It's like the Philippines, okay? That wine is old. They try to throw this human rights policy around, you know? This human rights policy around. That's that wicked wine, because they use it only for their own agenda, but they don't use it concerning them. They're hypocrites, you know, the hypocrisy of America, Babylon. Okay, it says, who enlarges his desires as hell. Also like it. Yea, also he transgressed, Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Okay, so you transgress by wine with your policies, and you don't keep your nose in your own house. Okay, for this man to try to keep drug dealers out of his country, that's a righteous deed. So you need to keep your ass at home. Okay, Stop worrying about all these other affairs, man. That has nothing to do with you. It says, who enlarges his desires is hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and he heapeth unto him all people. Okay? And that's why America is known as a melting pot, because you know, you go to a store or anywhere, you just go out anywhere, man. You know, like recently I went out to a restaurant last night, and all I'm hearing is all these different foreign languages, man. You know, foreign languages, man. I don't know what I was listening to last night. You know, some people probably from the UK, you know, speaking some, you know, some European dialect or tongue, so to say, man. You know, because they had I know it wasn't Spanish, you know, that they were speaking. So you know, that's pretty much, you know, they heapeth unto him all nations, man. We're in America, and we got all these different tongues and nations in here. So that's why, you know, you people coming up against the scripture saying, oh no, America can't be Babylon. America is Babylon, man. Okay? It says, verse 6, it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a haunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Now thick clay means depth, okay? But it says how long, you know, and shall not all these take up a parable against him, okay? So when that World War III pop off, these nations are going to be all but willingly, you know, to shoot missiles and nuke this place and consume it with fire, as according to Revelations, the 17th chapter, you know, to say they shall hate the whore. Okay, so you know, America has laid his bed, you know, laid his grave, so to say, and is getting ready to lie in it, and it's going to be utterly consumed and burned with fire via nuclear missiles, you know, modern day fire and brimstone, because America is modern day Sodom and Egypt and Babylon. You know, there's code names all throughout the scriptures for this wicked kingdom known as America. Okay, the scriptures say that, you know, he that giveth his mind over to the law shall be occupied in prophecy. Okay, so you know that, you know, we live in a time of prophetic tensions, man. The nations are angry, and they're upset with America, and they're talking out against America. Okay, they don't fear America no more. The scriptures say, "Art not thou become as weak as we." You know, roughly paraphrasing. You know, but you know that, you know, that's it on that, man. You know, first and foremost of all, praise Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Okay, and the true shepherds, you know, that's feeding the flock. And double honors, it's like it, not double honors, but blessings to you, sincere Akim out there that's pushing this truth, you know, throughout the four winds of the earth. That's not getting emotional when, you know, when rebuke or reproof is laid upon them. You know, just taking it, you know, pretty much drinking that cup, man. You know, that cup of reproof, of rebuke, so to say. You know, but that, you know, we almost out of here, brothers. Shalom.